Americans who want a glimpse of their own wild pig future only have to look as far as Europe. Wild boars have been a part of the ecosystem here for centuries. But for some reason, the populations are now expanding rapidly. Wild boar, long prized by hunters, are deeply ingrained in the culture. After being hunted almost to the point of extinction, the wild boar population has been roaring back to life over the last 30 years, with a vengeance.
Wild boar on the continent, the numbers are going through the roof. Nobody's exactly sure why, but wild boar are certainly not an endangered species.
And just like in America, these wild boar are going hog wild. A woman in the New Forest area of southern England attacked on horseback. A 5-year-old boy on the Isle of Wight nearly gored. Victims in other countries have similar tales to report about the exploding population of wild boars. In Japan, an old woman is attacked on the street. In Germany, a man finds a hog in his home. And in India, a wild boar kills one man and seriously wounds another. Is there any way to bring this global epidemic under control? And are these Eurasian boars really crossbreeding with their American cousins? To answer these questions, we have to unlock the genetic makeup of the American wild pig. Hair samples taken from wild pigs in Abbeville, Georgia, could be the key. And that's where expert Dr. Holly Ernest comes in. Dr. Ernest of UC Davis is a geneticist who specializes in studying wild pigs.
Wild pigs are of special interest to us and a number of people because they're not a native species and because they're highly destructive to the environment here.
She's analyzing the DNA of various wild pig populations to attempt to trace their origins.
So they can have a lot of similarities in their DNA, but sometimes they can show DNA signals of having ancestry from the Eurasian wild boar or from various domestic breeds.
But she says that right now, the pig database is too limited to provide any definitive answers.
And a lot of that challenge is because we lack the sufficient information in our databases. We're early on in our studies, and we'll be gaining that information over the next few years.
So are the big, mean pigs in places like Abbeville really the product of crossbreeding with Eurasian boars? If the answer can't be found in the lab, there may be another way to get it. By doing a visual comparison between American wild pigs and Eurasian boars. The best way to prove the connection is by going to a distant land, a nation with some of the biggest wild boars in the world, Russia.